Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ministry of Car. This is the first in the series of Singapore used car picks. Today, super luxury cars on a super cheap budget. So what I want to do today is I want to pick out 3 cars that I've identified. You can pick all of them up for less than $30,000, which in Singapore is crazy because the COE today is what, $130,000. And of course, they don't have that much time left. But even if you were to assume that you get a new COE on them, say in a year's time or in 2 years or 3 years' time, the annual depreciation is still cheaper than any new car. So what's going on, and is it really all it seems? Well, let's get into the first one. This is a car that has been catching my eye for a while. Now, this has been a dream car since I was young. It's a Mercedes S500. This was one of the best, not one of the best, the best car in the world when it was launched, Mercedes S500. It's V8. It's only $20,000. The depreciation is only $8,000 a year. It's got 2.5 years left. It's got 2 owners, done 145,000 kilometers, but 145,000 kilometers, 90,000 miles is not that much for these cars, right? These cars are built to last, even though they could have some problems. So this seems very tempting. Now, there are a few catches, obviously. Catch number one is that the road tax on this car is very, very high, $10,000 a year. So that probably covers the depreciation. But even when you add the road tax to the depreciation, you're talking at 8,000 plus 9,000, $17,000 a year. It's still in the range of what any normal basic EV would give you. So what really is the catch? Should you consider this? So we'll come back to this. The second one that caught my eye, got less time left, asking 15,000, but when you look at the paper value of the car, it's only 5,000. I bet if you gave the dealer an offer of 10,000 on this car, they would take it because they would not be able to export this car for more than $2,000-3,000. So one owner, 177,000 kilometers, which is not that much. Again, for a Lexus, Lexus's, Toyotas can last much longer. You know, one of the assumptions that people have is once a car crosses 100,000 kilometers, it's done. It's not. The lifetime of a car, reasonably well maintained, is easily in the range of 300 to 400,000 kilometers. So this car is not even scratching half of its lifetime with reasonable maintenance. This has a similar issue as the Mercedes, which is to say that the road tax is very high, 7,000. But let's just assume you can get this at about $10,000 depreciation, as we were just talking, plus 7,000, plus even if you factor in a COE, right? Today COE is what, $130,000. You're talking $13,000 a year depreciation plus 7,000, so $20,000 a year for this league of car. Like this is the Lexus flagship. This is Lexus what the S-Class is to Mercedes. Full-size luxury car filled with all the features that you can imagine. Is it worth looking at? And then the last one, the most maligned car that you have probably heard of, just slipping in at $30,000. But again, the paper value of this car is only 10,000, so a deal lower than 31,000 probably get you this car. This is the BMW 730i. This is the 3 generations old 7 Series. This is the first crisp angle 7 Series with the bangle butt. This has done 187,000 kilometers. This engine is a very iconic engine. It's an N52 engine. And it's more reliable than you might think. These engines have already, there's so many of them documented. Look up BMW N52 engine, high mileage. You'll find multiples of them that run 300, 400,000 kilometers. This is one of BMW's most reliable engines. It's a non-turbo engine. So yeah, you have this, and this is, unlike the other 2 cars, it's short wheelbase. So it may not have that extra luxurious space in the rear, but it is very maneuverable compared to those 2 cars. Now, why have I picked these 3 cars? It's very easy to go to SG Carmart and just pick what you think might be very cheap cars sorting by price. But I've picked these 3 cars because all 3 of these cars are valid cars worth considering. If you were to just take the BMW, right? Say you get it for, let's just take it at $25,000. So you have 3 years left at 25,000, almost 3 years, 2 years, 11 months. And say even if COE is still, say, $120,000 then, for 25,000 plus $120,000, for $145,000, you have essentially 13 years. So you are talking about a depreciation of barely $11,000 to $12,000 a year. Even if you add the road tax on this particular car, $3,000, you're talking $15,000 in road tax. In complete contrast, any EV with any reasonable amount of power and comparable to this car, EV's road taxes are very high in Singapore. So a car with a similar level of power, say a 270 horsepower EV, would have similar, if not higher, road tax to this. And the depreciation would be even higher as well. So should you do this? There are a few things to consider. First thing to consider is that with any used car, they can last to 100 and whatever, 300,000, 400,000 kilometers, but you have to put in a little bit of preventative maintenance. So you do need to budget in about $10,000. And then you need to find the right used car. In this particular car's case, which is this BMW 7 Series, this generation, the mechanicals are absolutely fine on this car. Even the air suspension is not that expensive to replace. The biggest issue with this car are the electronics, the dashboard electronics, and this was the first generation of BMW's iDrive that you see over here. These tend to be troublesome. So those are the things to watch out for. You can preventatively do some sort of maintenance. You can get a completely new system. You can bypass the old iDrive. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you're willing to put in another $10,000, so it's say 25,000 plus 10, plus whatever the COE is in many, many years' time, and say you invest another $2,000-3,000 in cosmetic stuff, getting the leather refreshed and all of that, this particular car could actually be a decent one. Now, the Mercedes is a little bit different. It's likely to be more reliable than the BMW because Mercedes usually are. But the high road tax makes this one a difficult sell. Because no matter how you cut it, even if COE goes down, you're still going to be paying almost $10,000 a month in a year in road tax. So I would look at this car if you wanted to have an experience. Because you can just buy this car for say $17,000, $18,000, $19,000. What's the paper value on this car? $10,000. So the dealer will probably be able to export this for $13,000, $14,000. You probably have 27 days left because the dealer is unlikely to offer $5,000 to renew the road tax. You could actually try out this car for a couple of years, right? Not much is going to go wrong because you have to see some of the indicators. So this car, for example, it has had 2 owners, which probably is 1 owner because it could just be a name change, license plate change, or at the end of 10 years, if you got a new loan for the COE, it automatically adds an owner. You have good mileage. 8,000 kilometers a year is good mileage. You don't want very low mileage because low mileage means the car has not been used. Many corrosive parts are going to break. So this is a good level of mileage to have. So beyond the cost of the road tax, which may scare you away, if you look at this car as say $18,000 plus another $18,000 in road tax, actually $22,500 because you need to add another 2.5 years. So $22,500 plus 17, 18. So $40,000 for 2.5 years for a car all in. And insurance on these cars is very low because luxury cars are very, very cheap. $40,000, 2.5 years. Barely, what is it? Say 13, 14, yeah. Maybe $15,000 a year. It's well worth a try because the only thing that will go wrong with this car is potentially the air suspension, which is not that expensive. People think air suspension is $5,000 a side. It's about $1,000 a side if it goes. They don't necessarily all go. And the fuel consumption on this car will be pretty high, but if you don't have very, very high fuel consumption, usage, it's well worth considering. Lexus is very similar case to the Mercedes. The only thing that is against the Lexus's favor is that it only has 11 months left. Here, it's a little bit of a risky endeavor because, also not that risky because Lexus's things are less likely to go wrong. But you imagine getting this car for about $10,000. You only have to pay 6 months of road tax, not the full year because some of it has already been paid. So $3,000 something, $3,600, $3,700, half of this road tax. So $10,000 plus $3,700-ish, $13,000, $14,000 for 11 months. So $1,200, $1,300 a month. It's worth a try. If you have a soft spot for Lexus, you could try this out. It's absolutely worth a try. Not much is expected to go wrong because one owner has had it for his entire time, again doing 9,000 kilometers a year, which is a good level of mileage. You can't really go wrong because these cars are reasonably reliable. And if you have a big repair bill, that's the risk. But what I think is, given how expensive new cars have become, it's well worth getting something like this to wait out the COE and see whether it comes down a little bit. Right? And even if it doesn't come down, say you decide that, okay, 1 year down the road, I'm looking at getting something else. The choice would be, say for this Lexus, 1 year down the road, you've put in $10,000 in it. The choice to keep it is basically, should I keep this car? It's not going to cost that much to maintain, maybe another $10,000 here and there. But compared to a new car where you're talking $200,000, on this car you'd probably have to pay, say, 120 to 130K. Right now the Cat B CU is 130K, but say somewhere in between. It's pretty high right now, elevated for other reasons we'll talk about. Even if you pay 120K, so I'm just going to do, say, 120K, 120,000. So $1,700 they want me to get a loan with them. So $1,700, just do 2.78%. Sir, why don't you want to reveal the number to me? Well, I saw the number already. $1,700. $1,700 a month with basically only $10,000 down, because that's what you paid for the car. It's cheaper than a new car still. Assume that you put in another $20,000 all in for all the possible maintenance over the next 10 years. $30,000 plus $1,700 a month. You're not going to get a new car for that money, any new car. And just to illustrate this point, let's go and find the cheapest, or one of the cheapest new cars that we can find. So how do we go by? Price lowest. I don't want these vehicles. All passenger cars. Search. Okay, well, these are not really comparable. Let's look at something that could be comparable. Maybe this could be comparable. Maybe. But look at, you get 121 bhp for a car that probably weighs like... Okay, guys, do not get this car. 120 bhp for a car that weighs 2,400 kgs. This car will not move. Let's look for luxury sedans. Let's just do that. Not all passenger cars, luxury sedan. Because we're talking about getting a luxury car. What is your cheapest option as a luxury sedan? Ignore the Mercedes CLA, it has no space. Mazda 6, yes, this is a good spacious car. Let's just take a Mazda 6. A Mazda 6 is $235,000. So let's just go with the price on this car, the Mazda 6. I don't want a bidded number. I just want to see the pricing. So how much do I need to put down on this car? Down payment $70,000. We were talking about doing $30,000 including all the maintenance. And installment on the Mazda 6 is going to be $2,300 a month, versus installment on this car would be $1,700 a month. Even if you add the road tax, which is about $600 a month, 7,300 divided by 12. So 1,700, 2,300. So exactly same down payment. But even after adjusting for all the costs, instead of $70,000 down, you're $30,000 down. I'm accounting for all the costs you could have possibly, right? Because that's more than enough because of the Lexus. So down payment is $40,000 less, and you're getting an infinitely superior car, because remember, this is a 4.7 liter V8, and it's a Lexus. It's beautiful, it's smooth, it's amazing. The Mazda 6 is nice, but you cannot compare the quality, and especially newer cars, because car makers have had to cost cut over the last few years, so they can no longer spend that much on materials. They have to spend stuff on screens and technology. Yeah, the Lexus with maybe one update so that you can use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay on the screen would be brilliant. So yeah, so this is my top tip for today. If you really want a nice luxury car in Singapore, you are looking at more than $250,000 to begin with, and then that's where it just goes more and more. I would suggest just get probably not the BMW, because BMW's electronics could give you a lot of trouble. Probably not the Mercedes, because the small differences in road tax do make a difference. $9,000 in road tax versus $7,000 in road tax. $2,000 a year does make a difference. And Mercedes will probably consume more fuel as well and be a bit less reliable than Lexus as well. But on balance, I would say just get this. Negotiate a good price for this, because the dealer can only get $7,000 or $8,000 from this car. That's the export value. It's very fair offer to offer $11,000. It's win-win. Dealer will also make more money than just exporting the car. So offer like $11,000 or something on this one, maybe 12. And yeah, spend another $10,000 on doing everything up properly, preventative maintenance. Lexuses are very reliable anyway. And then take a COE renewal loan. Even at today's prices, you'll still be $1,700 a month. In 1 year's time, if COE is lower, even better. And if COE is higher, guess what? The new car price is also higher. So either way, you're hedged. Get something like this. So that's my top tip of the day. If you want a luxury car in Singapore for the least price possible, but you have your cake and eat it too, get yourself this Lexus LS460.